Alright, hello everyone. I have a short tutorial on how to make a cylinder connect to a square or a cube. And how to do this without n-gons and only quads. So, imagine you have a cube. Well, it's hard to not imagine it because Blender starts with it. What we do is we're going to use two add-ons. These are included with Blender, so you only have to enable them. There's loop tools and mesh tools. So what you do is you go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons. You search for Tools, and there will be a lot of them available. And you need to enable Mesh, Edit Mesh Tools, and Mesh Loop Tools. Once those are enabled, when you go into highlight your cube, go into Edit mode, you will see a little tab called Edit on the side that has the loop tools and the mesh tools. What we're going to do now is we're going to take this face and we're first going to inset it. This will make sure that all the crazy mesh that we're going to create, because the flow of the mesh won't be perfect, that it will not connect to the side where there's an angle, because that can give some problems. Sometimes you even need to do it twice. So with Shift R, you can repeat last action if you're wondering how I did that. You can also see it in the screen tools in the bottom left. So I've inserted it now. Now what I want to do is, because I want to go to a circle and I only have 4 points, I need to increase the vertex count in this face. How to do that without creating n-gons? You can use the face tools, face, inset, fillet. If you do that and open up the little menu on the bottom, you can increase the inset amount a bit to shrink it a bit, and then when you change the distance, you can see that it's basically an inset like we did before, but then with rounded corners. But it's creating n-gons on the corners. Unless you lower the number of sides to 2, now it's basically also creating very pointy quads on the corners. You have a quad on the side, a quad on the corner. Everything is still quads except for the circle on the inside, or sort of circle. It's basically a rounded square. We're going to fix that. So now we created more points in this face on the inside. So I'm going to make it even smaller a bit. You're going to have to change the distance in such a way that all sides of this wannabe circle are almost the same size. That's best. So about this. Now we're going to make it a circle. So go to top view. You don't have to, but I'll do it to make it easier to see. And then in the loop tools, I click circle. While this face is highlighted, then it's going to make this face a circle. So I click it, now it becomes a proper circle. If it's not entirely straight, you can use this angle to slide on it to rotate your circle a bit. And you're going to want to try to make it level. Make sure that it's straight with the rest. Okay, once you've done that, you basically have a circle. You could extrude this, but I do recommend at least insetting it before you do it. Or if you want a more detailed circle, you can do it again. That's what we're going to do right now. So we're basically going to say this face, we're going to inset it again. Now you get a lot more detail. I'm going to inset amount this a bit less. Leave it on number of sides 2, because otherwise you're creating n-gons. And now we're going to have to make those sides roughly the same size. So about this. Now you can see that these sides are getting pretty tiny. If we put it like this, you can see it's pretty detailed. And again, this is not a perfect circle, so we're going to make it a circle. Now it's a good circle. And it's actually already pretty straight, so I don't need to adjust it or anything. So now I've got a circle, but it's connected to this weird duplication process. So it's best to take this face and use I to inset it again to create a nice flowing loop around it. And I'm going to do it again. Now I'm going to extrude it to make the cylinder that connects to my cube. And I'm going to inset it on the top as well to remove this n-gon. I'll do it again twice to make sure it will look pretty. Then I can remove this face on the top, remove face, so delete face. Get this gaping hole. What you do is you go to Vertex Select, use Alt and then left click on this inner circle. You get the inner circle highlighted. Now you need to make sure that when you look at it from above, that the vertex that is highlighted with white is in the lower right corner. Because I'm not sure if it is right now, but we're gonna just see. If we do Control F, we can say grid fill. And if it's not on the right place, what you can see now is that my grid fill is slightly at an angle. I don't want that, so I'm gonna undo it, and I'm gonna shift select this one twice to make sure that that one is selected. And then I'm going to do Control F grid fill, and now my grid fill aligns with my axis system. And that is not always necessary, but it makes everything look a bit more straight, and it can help when you want to straighten out a few things or have certain things done. And the flow is already a bit disturbed because of all the duplication that we've done, but it is a good practice to keep it straight. And you do that by selecting the lower right corner of the circle. So now we have a cylinder connected to a square, completely without n-gons. It's only quads. You can take a look at it if you want. Everything is quads, even here. This little face, it's just quads. It's a very squished quad, but it is a quad. And because it's all quads, things like subdivision surface still work. So if I have this, first of all, I can click shade smooth to make it appear smooth. Now this always destroys the lighting on the larger corners. We can fix that by going to object data, properties, normals, click auto smooth 30 degrees. Now it's only going to make everything look smooth by using lighting on faces that are at an angle of less than 30 degrees. So these large 90-degree corners, they stay shaded flat, but this little circle in the middle now looks smooth on the side. It's technically not smooth, so if we were to look at the outline, you can still kind of see the bumps. But if you want it, you could now also subdivide it. So if I put a subdivision surface modifier on it, it will not break. So if I subdivide it, it will look good. Because we're not using n-gons, this won't crash. If you have n-gons and try to subdivide it, it will go all wonky and it will not look good. So right now with this technique, you can subdivide it if you want, but you don't really need to, because this will already look pretty good. And I think we can technically also, oh yeah, well here you see that the flow is a bit wrecked. But if we were to select this edge, we could probably bevel it like so. We can even increase this, make it with 4. This will still keep it only quads. This is why the insets were important. If you want to do something like this, it has to be inset so that you have a nice loop around it. And I can also take this one, for example, bevel that with 4 cuts. And now it has rounded corners. Everything looks smooth, everything looks nice. It's a cylinder attached to a square. No subdivisions. Perfect. Thank you.